Good morning everyone. So okay, I'm going to start. So I hope you people are doing properly your study, and very soon the small issues will be resolved, as I told you yesterday. Very soon you will be added in a group where the homework will be given, and also you can communicate any problem to us. Yes, good morning everyone. So now I'm going to start without wasting any more time. So till now what we have studied, remember, we were studying number system, and in the number system we have started from natural number. Natural number we have studied three results related to them, and after that we have studied integers. We have subdivided integers into many other categories, and now today I have to do some problems on integers, some questions on integers. Okay, because such type of questions you will get in exams. Okay, so please mute your mic and turn off your video. Okay, so this is the request to all students. So okay, so I am doing some questions. Such type of questions you will get in the later chapters. Okay, so first question is, and one more thing, these questions are very interesting. Interesting means uh, such type of questions you can ask from your friends also. These are daily life, daily use questions you can see here. See the first question. The first question is, prove that the difference of squares of prove that the difference of squares of any two consecutive odd numbers, any two, please turn off your mic, please. Okay, really. The difference of squares of any two consecutive odd integers is a multiple of 8. Okay, see, the question is valid for if the two odd integers are even not consecutive, but I have made this question a little simple. Okay, the student who thinks that the question is a little simple, he can solve this question for without consecutive. Okay, but right now I am not giving that much difficult question to you. I am giving just what you have to prove, what difference of squares of any two consecutive odd integers is a multiple of 8. Okay, see, first of all, one rule I am telling you. Okay, you have to do this question, no problem, but before starting the question I want to tell you one thing. For solving any question, do you know what is the most important thing? for solving any problem, whether it is simple or difficult, what is the most important thing? The most important thing is properly reading of the question. You read the question again and again and again. Okay, you please read the question again and again and again. Please read the question in such a way that all the given things in the question is clear in your mind. All the given things in the question is very much clear in your mind. And then the concept related to that automatically will come in your mind if you have studied in the classes properly. So first of all, read the question properly, understand the question properly. This is the most important part in solving any problem. Okay, students generally lack this. They don't study the question, they don't read the question properly. They read the question very early, they read the question in a very less time, they read the question hurriedly. No, please read the question properly, only then you will be able to solve the problems. Okay, yeah, very nice. So I think you people have understood the question. What is the question? See, the question is that difference of whose difference is square of whose square, any two consecutive odd integers. So difference of any two consecutive odd integers is a multiple of 8. This thing you have to prove. So from where we have to start? Think about it. First of all, you think about it. Okay. Do you know why I give time to think? I give time to think to you because when you will study the question properly, when you will think about the question properly, and then if I give you the solution, if I provide you the solution, then in that case you will be able to understand the question in a much better way. And that's why I always give time to think you first. So in this time, please don't rest. Okay, don't think that sir has given me the time to rest. Okay, so just put pen and paper and just sit it in a rest position. No, is multiple of both? I don't understand whatever you are saying. Sai Venkatraman is multiple of both. So okay, what are you saying? This is not the time given you to rest. Okay, this is the time given you to solve this question first of all yourself. Okay, so in the given time, please think the question, please try the question properly. That will be the best thing. Okay, in that case, you will be in a better position to understand the solution if I give you the solution of this. Yes, see, I'm starting the question. Yes, I have to take two consecutive odd integers, but one student whose name is Gaddam Chaturya Teja, that is not the way to take the two numbers. Okay, I cannot take two particular numbers like someone has taken 3 and 5 and we square and take difference, it will be a multiple of it. No, that will be not the correct way, because if you have to prove anything, you have to prove those things for general. Okay, not for particular. If you are proving for this particular number, then this result will not be true for the general. So you have to prove for the general thing. Okay, so first of all, you take consecutive odd integer. Let the first odd integer is, yes, what should I assume the first odd integer? Tell me. I told you yesterday. Not n. I cannot. No. Not n. Not x. Not 5. 5. I told you now. You cannot take particular number. You cannot take particular number. You have to take a general number. So yes, who will tell me? No. What should I take the first odd integer? Yes, 2n plus 1. Anjali Sai Venkatraman, not n plus 1. 2n plus 1. I told you in the previous class, I told you yesterday that if you have to assume any odd number, then you have to assume what? 2n plus 1. So let the first odd integer is 2n plus 1. Now tell me the next odd integer, because I am taking consecutive odd integer. So yes, what will be the next odd integer? Yes, tell me. Not 2n plus 3. Yes, 2n, not 2n plus 2, 2n plus 3. Yes, Jayasankar, Ramcharan, yes, all these are giving correct answer. 2n plus 3 will be the next odd integer. Okay, why 2n plus 3? See, because the first odd integer is 2n plus 1. Do you know the difference between consecutive odd integer is always 2? So if the first odd integer is 2n plus 1, the next consecutive odd integer will be 2n plus 3, because the difference of consecutive odd integers is 2. So you have to add 2 to get the next odd integer. Okay, so the next odd, not this is the reason because 3 is odd. I am telling you the reason. Please listen properly. The difference between two consecutive odd integer is 2. That's why I will take the consecutive odd, the next odd integer as 2n plus 3. Now, I have to take what? Difference of squares of consecutive odd integers will be what? It is 2n plus 3 whole square of, see, difference of what? Square of consecutive odd integer. So 2n plus 3 whole square minus 2n plus 1 whole square. Now, see, you can solve it by two ways. The first one is either you can apply the formula a square minus b square. You know it, what? A plus b into a minus b. Or you just open the bracket by the formula a plus b whole square. Okay. So we can do it in any way. So I am opening the bracket. Okay. A plus b whole square. So what will you get here? 4n square plus 12n plus 9 minus in the bracket what? 4n square plus 4n a square plus 2ab plus 1. Okay. So now let's open the bracket. So if I open the bracket, then 4n square and 4n square will be cancelled out. Okay. 12n minus 4n will become 8n, and 9 minus 1 become 8. So I can take 8 common from here and I will get 8 into n plus 1. Okay. So see, this is 8 into n plus 1. That means I have proved that it will be a multiple of 8. So we have proved that difference of squares of consecutive odd integer, yeah, any two consecutive odd integer is a multiple of 8. I have proved it. Is it clear or not? Please tell me. If you have any doubt, any problem, you can ask. Yes? Clear. Anyone has any doubt, he can ask. Okay. Good. See, please don't make such request like, please explain from the beginning, please explain all the things. I told you in the previous class that you can ask me the steps in which you have doubt. Why I am telling you, there is a reason. Okay, there is a reason, because if I repeat the question same and same again and again, do you know, a lot of time will go waste. We cannot complete the syllabus in such a way. Okay, so please listen properly, and at whatever step you have problem, you can ask that, sir, at this step I am having some problem. Okay, so what you want to say, Sai Venkatraman? What you want to say? I am not clear about it. What do you want to ask? Okay, so yes, any problem? Okay, again I am explaining. Subtitle any values means, see what I'm saying here, difference of any two consecutive odd integer. Yes, ask. Varsha, yes, you can ask your doubt. I am allowing you to unmute yourself, so now you can ask. Yes, please. You can unmute yourself and you can ask. Okay, so Varsa is asking that why did I not take 2n plus 3 and 2n plus 7? So see, these are not the consecutive odd integer. Yes, Varsa, I think you must understand what are the consecutive odd integer. If 2n plus 3 is an odd integer is, in this way I will mute again. Okay, so only you unmute yourself to ask proper doubts. I'm going to mute all of you. Okay. Yes. So 2n plus 3 and 2n plus 7 are not consecutive integer. The next odd integer will be 2n plus 5 because in the consecutive odd integer there is a difference of 2 only. Here difference of 4 exists. That's why these are not the two consecutive odd integer. So according to question, I took two consecutive odd integer. Okay, I think now it's clear. So now I'm moving forward. Yes, one thing you can do as your homework, what? Prove that the difference of squares of any two odd integers, remove the consecutive from here. Any two odd integer is a multiple of 8. And this thing is not that much simple as this question was. This is a little difficult. Okay, so you try it yourself. Why did you took only 4? 4 means what? Where I took 4? Where I took 4, please tell me. I just took two consecutive odd integers. One was 2n plus 1, the other was 2n plus 3. I don't think I took 4 anywhere. Okay. So I'm going to the next question. Okay. I think you have all written this in your copy. I'm going to solve the next question. The next question is again very good question, very important question. See. And this concept is also very important to you. The question is find all integers or all remove all. Find integers a and b. Find integer a and b which satisfy a square minus b square is equal to 91. Okay, so see what is the question. First of all, clearly understand the problem. The question is you have to find integers a and b which satisfy this equation a square minus b square is equal to 91. Only this much information is given to you, and by this information only you have to find integers a and b which satisfy this relation. I think the question is properly understood by you. And what I'm saying here, this is a general question. No doubt this concept you will need in the later on chapters for IIT. And also this is a general use question. For example, you can ask from any of your friend that, okay, yes, friend, tell me two integers whose difference is 91. Or anything you can ask. Tell me two integers whose difference of square is suppose 21. So you can ask from general your friends also. Or anywhere this question can be asked that find two integers whose difference of squares is this much. So how you can solve this problem? Yes, first of all, again, you think the time is 1 minute, and after that I will solve this question and properly understand this question. What is the concept behind this? I will make you clearly understand. A square is equal to 91 minus B square. Is this the correct answer? I am telling you to find the integral values of A and B. I need value, not an equation. I think someone can give the answer by hit and trial. I think one answer can be given by hit and trial. Generally, student give one answer by hit and trial. Okay, one integer is 10, the other is 3. Yes, yes, one student has given me the answer, 10 and 3. 10 and 3. And I know he has given me the answer by hit and trial. Okay, 10 square is 100, 3 square is 9, and 100 minus 9 becomes 91. So by hit and trial, you can give the answer, but not for all such type of questions. Do you know? And one more thing, the answer is not complete. The answer 10 and 3 is correct, but it is not complete. There are some other integers for which a square minus b square is equal to 91 exist. So first of all, leave your pen and look at the whiteboard, understand the things properly, listen properly. I am going to tell you the concept about this. You have to find two integers a and b which satisfy this relation a square minus b square is equal to 91. Very important concept, and it will be used later. Okay. So I think up to class 10th, you all have studied that number of variables is equal to number of equations. I think you all know this. For example, in class 9th or in class 10th, you have asked that find x and y if x plus y is equal to 3 and 2x minus 3y is equal to 5. Such type of questions you have solved in the previous classes. So the thing to observe is the number of variable is equal to number of equation always. Okay, the number of variable is equal to number of equations. Only in that case you will be able to solve these equations and you will be able to get the values of the variable. Okay, but here what is the case? Here only one equation and two variable. So do you know, by properly mathematics you will not be able to solve this. Only one equation and two variable, by mathematics you cannot solve this. For example, if I ask that find x and y if x plus y is equal to 3, you cannot solve, because there will be so many x and y for which x plus y will be equal to 3. So number of variables must be equal to number of equations to solve any problem mathematically. So here number of variables are 2 and number of equation is 1. So by proper mathematics we cannot solve. So then what? Then how to do it? See, here it is given that find integers. So I have to use the concept of integer. Okay, by this concept, by the concept of integer, I will be able to solve this problem. How? See properly. Let's factorize this a square minus b square. I can get a minus b multiplied by a plus b is equal to 91. Now, if a and b are integer, then you know a minus b will also be integer, because integer minus integer becomes integer. A plus b also integer, because integer plus integer is integer. So here what we see is the left hand side is product of two integers. Okay, the left hand side is product of two integers. So let's break this right hand side also as product of two integers. Okay, so think about it. How we can break this 91 into product of two integers? Yes, tell me. First you can break it. Yes, 13 into 7, but before that also I can break 1 into 91. All possible factorization into two integers you have to do, not only one. So one of the possibility is 1 into 91. Yes, the other possibility is 7 into 13. Is there any more possibility? Please tell me. I think there are only two possibilities. In any other question, there can be more than two possibilities, but here only two possibilities. And yes, one thing, I am not going to commute these two. That means I am not going to write 91 into 1. I am not going to write 31 into 13 into 7. I am not going to write minus 1 into minus 91. I am not going to write minus 7 into minus 13. All these cases will be covered in the last step. Okay, all these will be considered in the last step. Here, what I have done is, see, observe, I have written 1 in this side and 91 in this side, because I am assuming that a minus b is smaller and a plus b is larger. So here the smaller number is written on the left side and the larger number is written on the right side. That's why I have written 1 into 91, 7 into 13. Now let's take case 1. Let's take case 1, 1 and 91. So equate, compare. So a minus b will be is equal to 1. This is product of two integers. Right hand side also I broke into product of two integers. So a minus b is equal to 1 and a plus b is equal to 91. Now add this. So 2a is equal to 92. So a is equal to 46. Okay. So a is equal to 46. If you will put here, then b is equal to 46 minus 1 and you will get 45. So you can take your calculator. You can check 46 square minus 45 square will come as 91. You can check. Or you can apply the formula a square minus b square. So 46 square minus 45 square, you will get 91. Now, I am giving the answer a is equal to plus minus 46 and b is equal to plus minus 45. Okay, why I put plus minus? Because here in the question here is a square and b square. Okay, so because of this square, a can take the value of plus minus and also b can take the value of plus minus. That's why a is equal to plus minus 46 and b is also equal to plus minus 45. Okay, so this is the case 1. Dear Vehicle, the class has been started, so please don't say hi and hello now. Okay, please study in the class properly. For what purpose you are here? Okay, never forget your purpose, otherwise you will be misguided. You will forget your aim. You will forget your aim and you will not be able to reach there. Okay, so please focus. Please be focused on the aim. Okay, yes. So case 2. The case 2 is 7 and 13. So if I compare, then I will put a minus b is equal to 7 and a plus b is equal to 13. Okay, let's solve it. Add this. So 2a is equal to 20, a is equal to 10. If a is equal to 10, then b is equal to 10 minus 7, it is 3. So you are getting 10 and 3, and the people who were answering 10 and 3, now see, your answer is here. But you people were getting this by hit and trial, and I am getting it by properly mathematics. And by this mathematics, one benefit is that apart from this, I am getting one more answer, 46 and 45. And yes, for it, you can also put a is equal to plus minus 10 and b is equal to plus minus 3. Yes. Is there any problem? Please tell me. Have you understood properly? If anyone want to ask, then please ask. Yes, Sai Kiran raised hand. I don't know for what purpose. If you want to ask, then you can message me. Because if I unmute, then you people are seeing that there are a lot of problems. Many unnecessary noises comes here. Okay. Okay, good. Nice. So if I give you the question, can you solve? If I give you the question, can you solve such type of problems? Okay. So I am giving you the problem for your homework. Okay. And the homework problem will be a little more difficult than this. Yes, one student is asking, sir, when we equate two equations, we have to change sign. Why you have to change sign? No, you don't need. A minus b is equal to 1 and a plus b is equal to 91. So where to change the sign? I am telling you the left hand side is product of two integers. Right hand side is also, we made it product of two integers. So I'm just equating, nothing else. Yes, one case minus 1 and minus 91. I am telling you don't need to take, because in the last I am putting plus minus, so all cases will automatically be covered. Okay. Okay, case one. Let's explain case one. Case one is I have put 91 as product of two integers 1 and 91. Okay, see, I am explaining case one again. 1 and 91. The case one is I had put this 91 as product of two integers 1 into 91, and this is product of two integers. RHS is product of two integers, and that's why I am equating these two. I am putting a minus b as 1 and a plus b as 91. See here, a minus b as 1 and a plus b as 91. Now let's solve it. Add this. If you add this, then you will get 2a is equal to 92. So a is equal to 46. And if you put a is equal to 46 in any one equation, for example, a equal to 46, if I put here, then b is equal to 46 minus 1, 45. Yes, now I think clear. Okay, so if anyone has any doubts, he can ask. I am giving you the similar question, but I think it will be little more difficult than the previous one, because in the previous question I just gave you the concept. Now by using this concept, you all people have to tell me the answer in the next class, because the same concept I don't think we should do in the today's class. If you want, I can do, no problem. The question is find integers a and b such that a square minus b square is equal to a square minus b square is equal to 48. Yes, you have to find two integers a and b for which a square minus b square is equal to 48 exist. So by solving like this you can get, but I think here more cases will arise. Okay, you are giving me the one answer. Okay, Vinay, 8 and 4. Again, I think by hit and trial, do it properly, you will get more answers. Okay, so all do it properly, I think you will get more answers. Will you do it? Should we solve today or should we give it as homework? What do you think? Homework. Okay, good. So in the next class, I want the answer. I want all the answers. Yes. Okay. Homework. So all students are telling for homework. Yes. Okay. In the next class, I will discuss and I expect that you all people will give you me the complete solution, not one solution. Okay. That 8 and 4 complete solution I want. Okay. So moving forward, I am coming to the next number. In the number system, we have completed integer. In the next system, next number system, we are coming as rational numbers. Rational numbers. See, the rational numbers are denoted by q. We denote the rational numbers by q. Okay. Now, what are the rational numbers? See the definition properly. First of all, I am giving the definition, and after that I will make you understand. I will explain it. Okay. The numbers which can be written, first of all, I am going to write the definition. The numbers which can be written in p by q form. The numbers which can be written in p by q form, where these p and q are integers. See, p, q belongs to integer. You must know all the symbols. P, q belongs to integers. That means p and q are integers, and q not equal to 0. Because if q becomes 0, then the denominator will become 0. And if the denominator becomes 0, then the number will not be defined. Okay, 2 divided by 0. What is the answer? Can anyone tell me 2 divided by 0? What will be the answer? 0. Oh. Not defined. Not defined. Yes. Not infinity. Infinite is not the correct answer. It is undefined. It is not defined. If anyone is saying infinity, it is not correct answer. Okay. I am again telling you that I will make you understand the concept of infinity. But right now, remember, if any number is divided by 0, then it is not infinity, but it is not defined. Yeah, undefined. Okay. That's why I have written here PQ belongs to integer, Q not equal to 0. So any number which can be written, any number which can be written in P by Q form is a rational number. Okay. Now let's give some example. I'm leaving little space here. See, if you are writing in your notebook, then you have also to leave this much space before writing the examples. Okay. So for example, here I am giving you the example. 13 by 5, yes, it is a rational number because it is written in the form of P by Q. Okay, so that's why 13 by 5 is a rational number. No, root 2 by 1 will not be a rational number. Root 2 by 1 is root 2. It is irrational number. And one more thing, root 2 by 1 is not of the form of P by Q because P and Q are integer. It is clearly written here. Here, this root 2 is not integer. So it is not rational. It is irrational. Okay. Don't worry why you have to leave this place. I am telling you. Okay. 13 by 5, 14 by 7, all these are examples of rational number. 22 by 7, 22 by 7 is rational. Okay. 0 by 2 is also rational, no problem. Minus 1 by 2 is also rational, no problem. And see, I am writing an integer 5. So this 5 is rational or not? Yes. Can you tell me this 5 is rational or not? Yes, 5 is a rational number. 5 is a rational number because it can be written like 5 divided by 1. So that's why it is a rational number. So I can say, I can say all the integers are rational number. Here I am drawing one conclusion that what all integers are rational number. Why? Because all integers can be written like this, integer divided by 1. So it becomes P by Q form, and that's why all integers are rational number. Okay, next. Tell me 0.3 is a rational number or not? 0.3. Yes, it is a rational number or not? Yes. Yes. Because you can write 0.3 as 3 divided by 10. Yes. That's why it can be written in P by Q form, and hence it is a rational number. 2.35. Rational or not? Yes, it is also rational because you can also write 2.35 as 235 divided by 100. Yes, so all these numbers are rational. So from here, I am again drawing one conclusion that all finite decimals, listen carefully, finite decimals. Finite decimal means after decimal, there are finite numbers. Terminating decimal. So all finite decimals are rational numbers because they can be put in the form of P by Q. Now 0.3333 and it will move up to infinity. Tell me whether it is a rational or not. Yes, it is also a rational number. Okay, you can write it like this, 0.3 bar, because here 3 is repeating, and that's why here you can write 0.3 bar. Bar means this 3 is repeating itself. Okay, so 0.333, it can be written as 0.3 bar. It is also a rational number. Okay, yes, it is non-terminating but repeating. I am going to tell you this thing. It is a rational number. Okay, so listen again, one more conclusion. Any non-terminating decimal means after decimal the numbers are non-terminating. So any non-terminating but recurring means repeating. So any non-terminating but recurring decimal are also rational number. Then the question arises that It can be written also in P by Q form. Yes, definitely it can be written in P by Q form. So the next question is how it can be written in P by Q form. So I will tell you in the next page that how it can be written in P by Q form. So here, see, there are some conclusions we have brought. What? All finite decimals are rational number, and all non-terminating but recurring decimals are also rational number. For example, 0.36363636 and up to infinity. It is also rational. You can write it as like 0.36 and bar upon both the numbers because both 3 and 6 are repeating. So it is also rational. We can write it in P by Q form. How? I will tell you in the next page. So you see, why I left some space here. I left some space for this conclusion. Here I am writing all finite decimals and non-terminating but recurring decimals. Non-terminating but recurring decimals are also rational number. So is it clear to all of you or not? Please tell me. All finite decimals and all non-terminating but recurring decimals are also in the category of rational numbers. Yes. Now the next question arises that how to write this 0.333333 in P by Q form. Okay, so I am doing it in the next page. See. So I am giving it you as in the form of question. Okay. Yes, Varsha, I am telling you why 0.333333 is a rational number. I am telling you. Okay. No, it's not necessary. Always numerator. One student is asking, always numerator should be greater than denominator. No, not at all. 1 by 3 is also rational number. 2 by 3 is also rational number. Okay, so that is not the case. Don't worry. Yes. So now see, I am giving it to you in the form of question. Write 0.3333 this in P by Q form. Okay. So see, I will say there are two methods. One method is a long method, but the other one will be shortcut. I will discuss you shortcut also, so that such type of problems you may be able to directly write the answer. Okay, so right now I am giving you the proper method, and later on I will give you the shortcut of this. So see, the proper method is the number to which you want to write in P by Q form, assume it as x. The first step is the number to which you are going to write in P by Q form, assume it as x. So okay, this is the first step. I am assuming it x. So x is equal to 0.3333 up to infinity. Now there must be two precautions. Remember, one precaution is after decimal only repeating numbers must be there. Okay, this is the first precaution. What is that? After decimal only repeating number must be there. So here the first condition is fulfilled. After decimal there are only repeating numbers. 3 is repeating, so only 3 is there. The second thing is that we need two such numbers. So one number is here. I want one more number in which after decimal the 3 gets repeated. So to get the other number, yes, some students are giving the correct answer. So to get the next number, you just multiply it by 10, so that the decimal gets shifted one place towards right and after decimal you will get the same thing repeating 33333. So we multiply it by 10, the decimal goes here, and I am getting 3.3333 and this line. Okay, now subtract first from second, so 10x minus x, it becomes 9x. And now see, what is the benefit of getting two such numbers in which same numbers are repeating after decimal is that if I subtract from second to 1, then this decimal part will be cancelled out and you will get only 3 minus 0 means 3. Okay, so x is equal to 3 by 9 and which is 1 by 3. So see, 0.333333 is equivalent to 1 by 3. So it can be written in P by Q form, and that's why it is a rational number. So I think it is clear to all that why 0.3333 is a rational number, and also it is clear that how we can write in P by Q form. Is it clear or not? Please tell me. Yes. Okay, nice. So should I tell you the second method, that is shortcut? Good, good. What about 22 by 7? Yes, I told you 22 by 7 is a rational number. No? I told you previously that 22 by 7 is a rational number. One student was asking. Yeah, I'm giving you the second question, don't worry. See the second method, method 2. Here I have to write this 0.3333 in P by Q form. So I'm going to write like this, 0.3 bar, because 3 is repeating. So I'm writing this. And now see the shortcut. All students, please focus here. Please listen properly. Otherwise, you will miss the shortcut concept. See, after decimal, only 3 is repeating. So you will write only 3. After decimal, only one digit is repeating. Only one digit, 3 is repeating. So in the denominator, you will write only one number of 9. So directly you can write 3 by 9 or 1 by 3 directly. And from now onward, I expect you to solve such type of problems like this, because it will hardly take 2 seconds to write. Okay, listen again. After decimal, only 3 is repeating. Yes, don't worry. This is the shortcut. This is the shortcut. Just listen properly. After decimal, only 3 is repeating. So we have written 3 here. In the denominator, what I have to write? See, here only one digit is repeating. One digit is repeating. So in the denominator, you have to write only one number of 9. Now, you cannot ask that, sir, why you are writing 9 here? Because I am giving you the shortcut. It is not any method. Okay. If you want to know that how 9 comes here, then go to the first method. It is the proper method. It is the shortcut. How many digits are repeating? Only one digit is repeating. That's why in the denominator, you have to write only one number of 9. Okay. Yes. Very good. For example, Jasmine is telling, sir, if 2 digits, we have to write 99 exactly. For example, see, if I am giving you the question, whatever I have taken the example, I am giving you the same 0.3636. Okay, write 0.36363636 in P by Q form. Okay, if you have to write this in P by Q form, so see, I'm directly doing it by shortcut. Okay, you can verify it by proper method also. So see, I can write this at 0.36. 3 and 6 both are the repeating numbers. So yes, correct, Jasmine, absolutely correct. So see, 3 and 6 are repeating, so write 36. Now the question is, how many digits are repeating? The answer is 2 digits are repeating. So I am telling you in the denominator what you have to write. In the denominator, you have to write 2 number of 9. I think it's clear. I think the shortcut is clear to all. Now, yes, you can cancel it by 3, 12 and 33. You can again cancel it by 3, 4 upon 11. Yes. 4 upon 11, no problem. So is this clear or not? Please tell me. Shortcut is clear. So I expect you to apply the shortcut because this is in class 9th, okay? And in class 9th, there is no shortcut. Yeah, in class 9th, when you have studied this, or when you maybe, I think you have studied this. Then you had studied in class 9th proper method. Here I am telling you the shortcut. So you don't need to learn the proper method. You just need to remember this shortcut, because wherever you will need in class 11th and 12th, you can directly write it in P by Q form. Okay. See, again, I am telling you, please. Okay, I am explaining once again, but please properly listen, and at whatever step you have doubt, please ask that step only. Okay. So what do you want to be repeated? Method 2 or method 1? Yes, it's too easy. Method 2 or method 1? Yes, please tell me. Method 1. See, I am explaining method 1 in this question. I had tell you. Okay, method 2. Okay, I am explaining method 1 to quickly. See, the number to which you want to write in P by Q form, write like this. Okay. Now, after decimal, only repeating things must be there. So 3636, yes, it is repeating. You need two such numbers. So multiply it by 100 such that after decimal 363636 may get repeated. So if I multiply it by 100, then what I will get? Decimal will be shifted here. So I will get 36.363636. And what is the benefit of doing this? If I get two numbers like this, then if I subtract, then I will get 99x is equal to, and this decimal part will be cancelled out, and I will get what? 36. So your x becomes 36 upon 99. See, the same answer which we were getting by shortcut. And the shortcut is that you just write it in the form of this. See, 36 is repeating, so I have written 36. Two digits are repeating, and that's why in the denominator I have written 2 nines. I think it's clear to all. Okay, yes, don't worry, I'm explaining all the case. Okay, Gaddam, you asked me in 0.36, if the bar is only upon 6, I will explain, don't worry, I'm going to explain. Yeah, so I'm moving to the next page. And yes, I am taking some other cases. Okay, see quickly. Suppose if I want to write 2.353535 in P by Q form. Okay, so see how I am going to write. See, I'm not going to give the proper solution. I'm not going to give the detailed solution, but I will solve it by the shortcut, because in the class 11th and 12th, you don't need to solve this in a proper method. Okay, you have to just get its value. So see, you can write it as 2 plus 0.35 and bar upon both. Yes or no? You can write this as 2 plus, although directly I can give you the shortcut for this also, but I'm not going to give, because for this, do you know, you have to mug up something, you have to rote learning, you have to do lot learning something. So I don't think that so many things will be remembered by you, and that's why I'm not telling you so many shortcuts. I'm giving you only one shortcut by which you can get answer to all the questions. Okay, this method is applicable, or this shortcut is applicable only when the number is starting from 0 point something. Okay, not for others. So see here, That's why I had written this number as 2 plus 0.35 and bar upon both. Now I can do it by shortcut. All of you know it can be written by shortcut 35 divided by 99. And now you can solve. It is 99 into 2, 198 plus 35 divided by 99. So it is 233 divided by 99. That is the correct answer. Yes. Have you understood this or not? Please tell. Is it clear or not? I had written the 2. Yes. Santosh, you had given me the answer 235 by 99. I think now it's clear. The correct answer is 233 by 99. Okay. Clear? Okay. So next question. Okay, nice. Next question. Yes, please. Yes, as one student was asking, I am giving you the exact problem of his. Okay. He was asking that if the question is like this, 0.3, 6, 6, 6, 6, and only 6 is repeating. That means if the number is 0.3, the bar is only upon 6. Then how to write in P by Q form? Yes. Anyone can tell me? I am sure that definitely some student will tell me. What abrupt answer giving? Okay. Yeah, Jasmine, you are right up to yeah, changing the decimal. See, multiplied by 10. Yes, correct. See, I am assuming it as x 0.366666. Only 6 is repeating. And you have to keep the precaution that after decimal, only the repeating numbers must be there. So here 3 is not repeating. So take it out from the decimal by multiplying it by 10. So 10x is equal to, you are getting 3.6666. Yes. Now after decimal, you have only the repeating numbers. Okay. So you can write it as, see, 3 plus 0.6 bar. Yes. 3 plus 0.6 bar. And you can apply shortcut here. So you can apply shortcut here. So what will you get? 3 plus 6 divided by 9. Okay. So 3, 2, 3, 3. Okay. So 3, 3, 9. 9 plus 2, 11. 11 divided by 3. And that is the value of 10x. And you had to find x. So x is equal to, shift this 10 in the denominator. So you will get 11 divided by 30. Yes. So is it clear or not? Versa is asking that how to write. I think now it's clear. You can solve any problem like this. For example, Versa is asking that how to write 5.50677 and 7 is repeating. So I think you have understood what you have to do. Shift this decimal where? At that place after which only repeating numbers are there. So you have to multiply it by 1000. So you will get 5506.7777. You can write it 5506 plus 0.7 bar. You can write this 0.7 bar like shortcut. 5506 plus 7 by 9. You can take LCM, shift 1000 in the denominator, and that is really one answer. Yes. Clear or not? Please tell me. Yes. If anyone has any doubt, he can ask. Only one number is repeating. So yes, that's why I have to place the decimal at that place after which only repeating numbers are there. That's why I have shifted this decimal to that place. That's why I multiplied it by 1000. Now in this case, after decimal, only repeating numbers are there. Okay, so this precaution we have to take, that after decimal only repeating numbers must be there. Only repeating number must be there. Okay, that's why I shifted the decimal from this place to here by multiplying it 1000. Okay, so this thing I have. Yes, okay. So I think it's clear. Okay, I had made a DPP, and you will get the DPP after the formation of the group. I will give you the DPPs to solve the problems, whatever we have solved in the class. The problems will be like that, and after solving all the DPPs, you will be provided some sheets in which mixed questions will be there, and you have to solve all the questions. If you solve those questions, then be confident you will be get selected in any of the competitive exam related to math or related to the engineering. Don't worry. Okay, so rational number is completed here. I am moving to the next number, which is irrational number. Okay. Although the time is over, so that's why it will be done tomorrow. But yes, I am putting the heading irrational number, and tomorrow the number system will be completed, because in irrational number there is only theory, small theory, and in the rest of the numbers there is only theory. So tomorrow the number system will be completed, and after the number system I will give you the concept of infinity, and after that we will start interval and their notation. From there, important things will be started. Without those things, you will not be able to solve the mathematics of class 11th or 12th. Okay, so the next classes are very important. In tomorrow's class I will complete the number system, and I will move to the next theory. Okay, so should I finish the class? Okay, Varsa, I will clear your doubts. Don't worry. Okay, I will clear your doubts next time when we'll meet. Okay, or after the formation of group, you can contact me. I will clear your doubt. Don't worry. Okay, Varsa, I will clear your doubt. You don't worry. In the next classes or in the next time, I will clear your doubt. Rest of, I think for the rest of the students, the things are clear. Okay. So have a nice day. We'll meet tomorrow.